I started about 45 years ago. It was a very quick start, and it begins at the dentist consultation. Very dramatic. Because the dentist who asked me to join the International League of Animal Rights, where Luxembourg had a small section, and to go to Paris to the Professor Jean-Claude Duet, maybe you know it from Eurogroup too. And then I was very quick the target of the Luxembourg National League, and so I joined the league, and 2 years after I joined Eurogroup. I was for 10 years treasury of Eurogroup, and then I take over the presidency from the Luxembourg League, and that's about 30 years. But at that time, I didn't thought that today I was still on the same chair.
I must say, as far as I remember, I always loved to look at animals in the garden of my mother. And one thing I really remember is when walking to the school, I went by foot to the school, and when it was raining, you know, there was a street, plenty of worms. And then I thought, oh, the cars are going to run over them and people are going to walk on them. And so I started picking up the worms and putting them back to the soil in order that they not run over. So, and that took me a lot of time, of course, because when it was raining a lot, there was a lot of worms there. So I came too late at school, and then I was a little bit ashamed to tell my teacher, you know, I'm late because I picked up at least 15 worms, and you know that takes time. All right, so as far as I remember, and then also realizing more and more what humans are doing to the animals. I also remember the first time I saw corrida on the bullfighting on TV. That was for me very traumatic. I could not imagine that people could be so cruel to animals. So, but as I say, as long as I remember, I have some kind of sensibility or empathy. And I hate everything regarding abuse of power. And I think what we do to the animals is a lot of abuse of our power. So, yeah.
To do the best for the animals. Naturally, no. In fact, we have in Luxembourg, our main problem is naturally the cats and dogs. But we are open for all the European problems because, for example, 10 years ago when the transports came over Luxembourg, we stopped with the help of our customs. We stopped transport here on the highway from Belgium to France. And that had a very big impact because the transport were around Luxembourg. So they didn't cross Luxembourg again. So what we can help, what we will help too, our objectives is naturally to help Eurogroup to organize meetings with our minister to see that the European Parliament will have the help of the Luxembourg in the problems where now, related problems where Tilly will surely speak after. And so we are really working on everything, but mostly naturally in Luxembourg, it's domestic animals like cats and dogs.
Yes, first of all, just to make the link to what Luss was saying, indeed animal transport, of course, is a big issue right now, and we are very, very happy that we succeeded finally to have this inquiry committee on the protection of animals during transport. And you must know that this committee inquires not only regarding mainly about farmed animals, but we could also, it's the revision of the regulation that we want that concerns all animals being transported for commercial aim. So that also includes pets. So it's a big problem also with puppies being transported that people buy online, and they are trafficked all over Europe and also over the borders of Europe. It's of course farmed animals. You must know that in Luxembourg we have an overproduction of animal products. And so we have quite an export also of live animals outside Luxembourg and also outside even the EU. So animal transport is certainly an issue also because Luxembourg is a grassland, so we have quite a lot of bovines here in Luxembourg. We have also quite a lot of sows, and then before we mentioned the End the Cage Age European Citizens Initiative. That's also a topic in Luxembourg for sure. We don't have the poultry in Luxembourg, it's not caged anymore. But on the other hand, we still have the situation that the sows, of course, we have quite a production of pigs in Luxembourg. So there we have these cages that you see for female sows, that they are in these very small rooms, cages, when they get birth, and also the time before. So we have it there. We have also the issue of calves in those small houses, indeed. So and getting separated from their mother, because of course we have an overproduction of animal products. We produce more than we would need in Luxembourg. So it's a lot of issues that are in Luxembourg that we are covering in general, or that there are also European challenges right now. But I think it's really key legislation period for animal welfare regarding animal transport, but there is in general coming up a revision of all the animal welfare legislation on European level. So it's a lot that's going to be tackled. Yesterday I spoke in the plenary, and that's another, I think, typical issue also for Luxembourg. In Luxembourg we have quite a good center of research, and I think it's challenging, and I always try to push that Luxembourg should be a model or a pilot in regarding research without the use of animal testing. We do have quite good research infrastructures. They are also using for the moment animals, but mainly fish. But on the other hand, it's important, I think, that we develop, and we have already in Luxembourg one patent on organoids, so I think it would be great, and I would be very proud if Luxembourg would be one of the countries really showing that non-animal the methods are possible in research, in science. So that's also something we're discussing. We're going to have a resolution on animal in science in September also, in order to reduce the numbers of animals used in science, which for the moment are not far from 10 million animals that are being used in 1 year. So that's really a lot of animals also in the context of research and testing that we are talking about right now.
It could be done a lot, because we know exactly what we want, because all the dangerous dogs come here to our shelter. They are brought by the police or like to people who want to abandon the dogs. They bring them here. When it starts in 2009 with the law on the dangerous dogs, we were not too happy with this law. But we decided here that we will do something, because nothing was foreseen. In the law only was foreseen that people who didn't want any more a dog, she should give us to us. And we said we will not kill them. So we tried to do something. And I must say it was my fault at that time, and Gabi knows it, because I thought 2009, in 3 years, it will be finished, because in the law, breeding is forbidden, importing them is forbidden without authorization of the minister, with the result that today, after 22 years, we have more of these dogs than ever. So you saw them here. We have normally about 20, and we have a waiting list about 40 dogs. But we can take them all, because we need also shelters for the other dogs and cats. And we tried also to do something that they could be readopted. So we make the examination. We have our own people to re-educate the dogs. We even pay the license for people who want to adopt a dog. But there again, we have problems with vet administration because, you know, people come here. They take a dog that is educated. And then they say, but can we take the dog with at home? Even if they have still to go, they want to go to the next how do I say, this examination for the dog. And that was here, now it's on the vet administration. They ask us now to pay, that's no problem, we also would like to pay. But the vet administration said, no, without examination, dogs cannot be given to anyone. And then a lot of people said, yes, if we have to wait again 2 or 3 months, we didn't want the dog anymore. So, you see, we are the only one who are doing something, but it's help. The help is missing for us. And the biggest problem is naturally the control. There's no control. You go to Belgium, to Liège on the market, you buy a dog, you come to Luxembourg and it's here. And that's also a big problem. So we are waiting for a meeting that, again, should be organized by the vet administration, meeting with the justice, with the Minister of Interior, and with the Minister of Agriculture to see how we could ban that, how we could try to do it better. But nothing happened till now, again. That's pity, but it's like that. I don't think that the dog is dangerous by breeding, and we wanted to change that in the law, but because we have 2 laws. We have the law on animal welfare, and we have the law on dangerous dogs, and we wanted to put both together and to take out the name of the dogs who should be dangerous, because in my opinion that makes no sense. But so now we have the 2 laws, and there is another problem for dogs who are confiscated. They are treated differently in the 2 laws. So we wanted to harmonize that, and that could be done by 1 sentence. And even everything wanted to help us, even on the Ministry of Justice wanted to help us. And we sent the changes to our minister. It's only to change 1 sentence. The minister gave it to the vet inspectorate, and that's it. Yeah. It's there. Nothing happened again. And there maybe you could also help us one time to speak with your party and see how we can change it. But because it's only 1 sentence to change. And the dogs were confiscated on 1 law. It's a possibility that we could then give after 2 months to adoption. The other not. They have to stay here for 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. That's a problem. And so you see, we have a little problems, but together give a very big problem. On dangerous dogs too, and I don't know when we will change the law. They promised us that they will work on it, but yes, we wanted to have a sanctuary in Luxembourg, but and we even got the place where we could do it. We had an architect, we had the plans, was in Weiler.
Yeah, I know.
And then the mayor changed, and he stopped everything. And so it's very difficult, the process of the Grand Tour of Luxembourg, to find an appropriate site. And then we had contact with a young girl who has really a big terrain, big place in just about the frontier. And I must say, Gabby had the good idea, and she worked out the convention, and so we have a convention now that we can bring all our animals to her. And we will pay a certain sum of money every year, but we will be together. So when she makes something, it's also our name who is named with it. So we have our donkeys, we have our cows, we have our horses. That's everything that was confiscated, and that because here we have any place for those animals. And so we looked for years and years and years, and now finally we found a place, and I think it's a real good idea.
Yeah, of course, first of all, I'm happy that more and more countries are really outing themselves and officially declaring we don't want to support any more pure farming, which is really cruel, and of course we all know that, are aware of that. But I must say it's still a way to go, because one of the pillars of the concrete project of the European Union is the inner market. And as long as there are still countries that and people living from the pure farming, there is also a lot of money involved regarding the pure farming. So we would really need a very coherent and mandatory directive on EU level, so that it's completely banned out of Europe. But I would say, for Luxembourg, if I may say so, with all the respect, and I do really appreciate my country for a lot of projects also regarding, for example, the ban on glyphosate, which was more difficult because people were using glyphosate in Luxembourg, but we didn't have any pure farm in Luxembourg. And for me to be coherent, but that's not possible right now because of the inner market, but also because of the World Trade Organization, we would say, okay, we close our borders to products that have fear of animals, and we don't want to support that at all, and we close. It was already possible regarding the, I don't know the word now in English, I'm sorry, the FOC. So it was a clear directive regarding, this animal living, they are white and they are killed.
Sea lion.
Sea lion, thank you very much. So there was already possible clearly to say, okay, this is something we don't want to support anymore, but we should do really something on that also regarding the few farming, that we say, okay, those products, we don't want them anymore, and also we don't want any imports, and we don't want, now it's based on voluntary actions of big close chains who are saying, okay, I think even recently there were, I forgot about the marks, but there were some famous also mode designer who clearly said, we don't want to use pure anymore in our collection. So that's something I would be, it's of course strong messages, and it's raising awareness every time also to the people. Those are the designers, etc. You should support them because they officially renounce now to use pure, but there are others that still continue, and I think also as an NGO and also as politicians we should raise awareness that where we should buy and where not. But I'm dreaming, of course, that we have a clear European regulation banning in all European countries fewer farms, but also then the imports of products with animal fear. But it's step by step. I think always, Luss probably also think that when you are animal welfare defender, you lead along a lot of energy to go on doing years, because it's really a marathon run. It's not a short run. You really need to catch energy again to fight for animal welfare, because things are not changing from one day to another. You need really, in French you say, a longue haleine. So in order to persevere in this fight for animals. Yes, just regarding the ban of pure farming, I think it was last year or the year before, inside the European Parliament there was a big exposition of the fewer industry. And of course, for animal defenders like myself, but also others, we were very shocked that the European Parliament is promoting fewer. So, and then I realized that not for everybody it is clear that we should ban fewer. And even the lady explaining, she said, "Oh, come on, I'm going to explain you how well we treat the animals." And I said, "Do you think they are happy, those animals in the small cages?" "No, but we give them enough to eat, and look how good they look," and so on. And I said, "How do you kill them? Do you explain to the people also how do you kill them, and so on?" So and she was really thinking we are not harming them so much. Okay, at the end we take them their fur off, but yeah, and also that you keep wild animals in small cages. But then I realized again that it's still a long way to go and to persuade. And also, if the European Parliament thinks it's normal, the responsible there that we have this exposition, I was very shocked. And we made also, of course, then a counter action where we were protesting against this exposition. And yeah, so, and another fight we are having is also always, and I think the European Parliament should be an example. At the beginning, when I was at the European Parliament during Christmas, you had foie gras there. And then we said, how can the European Parliament offer foie gras? And now also there, step by step. So first of all, we said we don't want the European Parliament offer foie gras to the people. We are against that, and we should be an example. But also regarding the foie gras, as a lot of people, again, in Europe, especially in France, live of that, if we could already change the definition of the foie gras, that there is no more forced feeding, that you use the level of the animal, but without forced feeding. Because the forced feeding, the size of the foie gras that it needs to have in order to be called foie gras, it needs to have a certain size. So we hope to get a change of the definition that the level is smaller, and nevertheless you could call it foie gras, but without then forced feeding. That's just an example also to say how you need to be patient and step by step in order to change something. Also, yeah, and well, regarding the common agricultural policy that was now agreed on, the proposal that came out of the parliament, there was the subsidies, the coupled subsidies for bullfighting, for corridas, was not possible anymore when it came out to the parliament decision. But now, after the trialogue, mainly some people also of the parliament, the conservatives, they did not fight enough for it. They said, okay, we let that go, so now it's again in, you can have again coupled subsidies for bullfighting. So it's very, also you make 2 steps forwards and then again 1 step backwards. So it's a long fight. Now, of course, we start again fighting that we should not support, even if it's only symbolic, it concerns quite a small number of animals, but nevertheless it's very cruel. People don't want that. A lot of majority of people don't want that. But it's just to say, also in politics, how you have to fight for things, you lose, and then you start again, and you have to have all the stakeholders around the table. Otherwise, it's very hard to succeed. Just small remarks regarding issues that we are also fighting at the level of the parliament. Yeah. Yes, I mean, if you are in Luxembourg and you want to commit yourself for animal welfare, you cannot not know La Ligue de Protection des Animaux. So for me, I'm also living here in the same city since my youngest age. So for me, it was clearly there is the shelter houses for the animals, and I don't know since when I'm member, but since already for quite a long time. I think at one moment when I was a student, I guess, I got member of the Déiereschutzliga. So for me, they are part of the NGOs landscape in Luxembourg, and they play a very important part. And it's exactly the endurance that they have that I do really appreciate, because they are not, you know, you have sometimes animal welfare organizations that start up, that come up, but they are and maybe then known for 2-3 years, and then at one moment you don't hear anymore. They don't have this this endurance and this perseverance, in order to continue, not giving up. And I think Luss and also other peoples of the committee of the Ligue pour la protection des animaux are excellent examples that for not giving up and for building something great. Because also when I came here when I was a child or much younger, and what it looks now like, I think they did a lot of progress, and they are active in very different domains. So we can be proud and happy that we have them here in Luxembourg, because they have the perseverance, and they really do a lot of good things, and not just like a short fire, but they are in the continuity, and that's very important.
For over 100 years.
For over 100 years. That's not nothing, that was the schlimm. But I think it's also, we should inform the people more what they can do. For example, the European Citizen Initiative, like at the KHH, also there was one also regarding testing on animals, that to forbid testing on animals for cosmetics. So I think we should inform the people that they can start European Citizens Initiative, and once you have 1 million signature over 7 different countries, then you can really make a change. Now, was it last week or the week before, the commissioner responsible for animals and also for health, she clearly said, okay, I got the message, people, we need to do something about caged animals, and we are going to do something. We are going to come with a proposal on 2023. We are going to make an assessment to see how we can phase out the caging of animals. So I think a lot of citizens are not aware that they really can make the difference. And then I must say, personally, as a politician, I do completely understand that not everybody wants to make politics, but politicians need the pressure and the clear demand also from NGOs, from citizens, that they should go on the street, be member of NGOs, in order when they have something regarding animal welfare that's really they want to change something. So please commit yourself, raise your voice for those who don't have any voice, and commit yourself. Being going on the street, being member of an NGO, being starting an European Citizens Initiative, because without the pressure of the citizens, a politician doesn't do anything. Now, I see that also in the inquiry committee regarding the protection of animals during transport. Even the very conservative politicians say now, okay, I think we have to change something. Maybe they would continue business as usual, but they feel that the pressure of the citizens is so huge that also they, because they want to be re-elected at one moment, that also they are saying, okay, you're right, I think there is a problem and we should change something. So just commit yourself, raise your voice, express yourself, and you can change something. That is really the message I want to say. Step by step, you need patience, but you can make the difference. You can be part of the change.